let me get this set up. I typically like to I pin myself so I'm the biggest one so you guys can see, but then I like to bring it back so I can see the grid. So give me like 2 seconds. I'd have to do this every time and I always forget for a moment. Okay, there we go. All right, am I big screen for everybody? Okay, no. Every time I do this, it doesn't. Let's see. Let me try it one more time. Okay. Goodness. All right. Let's try that. If I'm not, you might be able to. Okay. All right. I'm going to try Miss Katie, though, because you spotlighted me, which is great. Thank you. I'm going to try to bring me back to gallery because then I can't see anybody if they raise their hand or ask.
Oh, no. Okay.
Did I kick?
Want me to undo it?
Am I in spotlight still?
Yeah.
Okay, perfect. All right. Sorry. I have to have the grid so I can see everybody because if someone asks a question or signs it wrong, I need to be able to see them. For those that don't have their cameras on, if you can't do your camera, that's totally fine. It's just if you do want me to like check your hand signs or anything like that, you can put on your camera or either way. Some people do it where they just like to watch, and that's totally fine too. Okay, so let's get started first off with our and I always like to have my phone right next to me with the list. That tries to keep me on track. So if you see me looking in the corner, I promise it's not like I'm like, ooh, text. No, it's me looking at my like list to keep me on track because I will veer off and give you just start doing other signs. Oh, I'm going to add and add and add. So that kind of thing. Okay. So like I said, what we're going to start with is we're going to start with the ABCs. So excuse me. The first sign we're going to do is the letter A. So the sign for A is going to be like this. And you want to make sure your thumb is on the side of your hand. Okay. Then B is going to be your 4 fingers up with your thumb across. Then C is one we've all known, C. Okay, so D is going to be your pointer finger, and you're going to make this like circular, like I'm going to turn it sideways so you see, but you would typically do it like this. Then E is going to be, so you're going to have kind of like you bend your 4 fingers and you have your thumb across. Good. You don't want to go full, like have a big space between. The reason for that is it's kind of called like a screaming E. So it looks like you're just yelling a big E. So you kind of want to get them close. I'm not fully having my my fingers like touch my thumb, but they're really close together. Good. Okay. Then we'll do F and go through those. Okay. Go back through them. So F is going to be your pointer finger and your thumb connect and your other 3 stick up. Like the okay sign that we do. Okay. Let's go back to our A. So we had A. Then B. Then C. Then D. And then E. And then F. One trick I like to do with D to help with that kind of memory, like remembering this one, is that if you look at it, well, okay, I'm left-handed. I don't know if any of y'all are left-handed. But for right-handed people, when you make that D, if you look at it sideways, it looks like a lowercase d. At least when I'm looking at it, it looks like how you would write a lowercase d. Do y'all see that kind of make that like writing? Like how it's like sideways like this, it looks like a D. That's how I have students who are still learning ABCs or others actually know how that's a D, is because they'll see it and they go, oh, well, if it's pointing this way, it's a D. I don't know if that helps with y'all. I like to kind of add those like kind of almost not weird, but like different ways of like trying to connect it to help you memorize them. Okay, the next one we're going to have is G. So our G is going to be like a little, like you're doing the little pinch, and you're going to turn it in forward in front of you. So you want to make sure your nail is kind of sick. There you go. Yes. G. Then H is going to be now 2 fingers. It's not the biggest deal if your thumb is still sticking up or you put it down, either way, because you can't really tell if you have your thumb still there or not. So H, I is going to be your pinky. And then J. J is you're going to make the J motion. J. Okay. Now, K is a little bit awkward. If you haven't practiced them before, it's a little bit awkward to spell. So you're going to make a V looking shape. You're going to have your middle finger go slightly forward. So like if you see mine, I'm kind of bringing it. And then you're going to put your thumb between them. And that's K. If it's not the most comfortable feeling, that's kind of natural. Your hands are probably not used to having to make those weird movements. So with time and practice, it actually does get more comfortable. It just might take a minute. So I like to tell people that as well, because they're like, this kind of like is uncomfortable. That can't be right. No, it can be. So K, then we have L. L is like we all know, our sweet little, whenever people in younger going loser, that's our L. And then M. M is going to be 3 fingers over your thumb. And the visual for me is it looks like an actual M in my mind. That bumps, the little humps, so our M. Okay? Then we'll stop after N and then go back. Then N is going to be 2 fingers. All right, good. Okay, so let's go back to our G. We'll go through those and then we'll go all the way back to A and try to go through, okay? So we had our G. And then H, I, J, then K. So remember, make that V, bring it forward, put a thumb between. Then L. Then M. And then N. Okay, good. Okay, so now let's try to go back all the way to A and go through those. Okay, so we have A, B, C, D, E, F, Henry. Sorry. I'm staring at it and I can't think of it. Give me a second. G, goodness. G, H, I, J, K, L, M, and then N. Good, good, good. Perfect. Okay. All right, so let's move on. Also, if you see me stop for a minute, I have to think it's because when you say the alphabet so slow, it almost like makes you question yourself. Wait, what's the next letter? Because I mean, you have it so routinely with the song that when you slow it down, it's like, wait, what is the next letter? So please do not judge me on that. It's when you go that slow pace that kind of can get a little muddled. So the next one is our O, which is just going to be O. And then for P, what you're going to do is you're going to make that K shape again. And then you're going to bring it down. So this is P. Good. Then we have Q. So Q is going to be that kind of that little like small, and that's now going to be down as well. Okay. Then we have, and you want to make sure it's just your one. There you go. Yes. Then we have R. R is going to be crossing your fingers. And then S is going to be like our A, but now our thumb is in front. So S. Then T. T is going to be that one finger over our thumb. T. Then U is going to be two fingers up. Then V. Then W. Okay, then we have X. X is going to look like a pirate hook. That's what I think of every time. We actually, for the longest time when we started this class, I could not for the life of me understand why I kept going X like a pirate, because I was like, it's not. It's like R like a pirate or something like that. And then Miss Katie figured it out. She was like, X marks the spot on a treasure map. I was like, that finally makes sense. But it drove me crazy for like 6 classes, y'all. I could not tell people why I made that connection. So anyways, here's your pirate hook. Then we have X. There we go. Y. Sorry, again, like I said. So Y is going to be your thumb and your pinky both out. And then we have Z. Z is just going to be your pointer, and you're going to make the Z motion. Z. Excuse me. Okay. Let's go back through our O. Go back to our O. So we had O. Then P. Then Q. Then R. Then S. T. U. V. W. X. Y. Excuse me. And then Z. Okay. Let's now try to go all the way from A to Z. We'll go slow the first time around, okay? All right, so let's start at the beginning. So we have A, B, C, D. That actually is I'm so glad you actually did that. So it is very often people will get D and F flipped every single time. That happened when I even was like in my with my classmates. They could not for the life of them get their D's and F's. So that's why I said if you're right-handed, that look, being able to think what makes the shape of a D might be able to help you get that. But yeah, totally normal. It happens like every time someone's got it. And I mean, I remember tons of my classmates being like, which one is it? I'm trying to say this. And they got really stressed trying to spell the word deaf instead of, and they're like scared if they do a D instead of F, they'd be saying dead, not deaf. And I remember going, it's okay, guys. Here's your F. And they're like, okay. But you know, we were high schoolers then. Everything's a big deal. Okay, so we have next is our E. Then our F. Then G. Then H. I. J. K. L. M. N. O. P. Q. R. S. T. U. V. W. X. And you want to make sure, like I said, you kind of want to bend it if you can. If you can't, totally fine. I just want to say, because if you stick it out a little more, they're going to think you might be trying to talk about like a D. So you want to make sure you get that good curve in there. Y and then Z. Okay. So now what we're going to do, after I take my water break, is we're gonna, I know this is very tedious right now. Let me explain real quick why the ABCs are really, really important. It's a really first big stepping stone into being able to at least somewhat communicate, because with ABCs, you can at least, if like there's an emergency or something's happened or you have to communicate with someone who is deaf, there's like some kind of need, you are able to actually have a conversation through fingerspelling. Yes, it's not the most ideal form of conversation, but you would be able to. Because there are actual words in ASL that just don't, or well, there are English words that don't actually have a sign in ASL, and you might just actually have to what's called finger spell, which is this. It's like I'm wiggling my fingers in a circular motion, and that's where you would just like I have to spell it out with the letters. So like, let's see.
Y'all wait till we get to the animals and the foods. All of
Yes.
your favorite things, you've got to finger spell it.
Unfortunately, yeah, she's right. I was gonna say that about the animals. The more specific you get with like animals, they have to like finger spell. Like if you're talking about like your favorite dog is a Pomeranian, there's not a sign for Pomeranian, so you'd have to finger spell Pomeranian. And so because of that,
Or get a new favorite dog, because that's a really long sign.
yeah, I really wouldn't want to finger spell Pomeranian. I would honestly say Husky, just for the sake of finger spelling it and be a lot easier.
Gillian.
Well, I mean, I guess I kind of go with my lab because I mean, LAB, that's really easy. But with that, finger spelling is a key important part of ASL. So if you don't know the ABCs, it's kind of hard to always be able to fully communicate. Also, it's a very beneficial because, for example, if you forget the word for something, which I know you guys are like, I don't even know how to sign an actual conversation. So of course I'm not gonna know how to sign a word. But like if you were talking to them about something, you forgot the sign for like apple or something like that, you can actually straight up say, oh, my favorite fruit is apple. Like you can finger spell the word. And they would not be like, most of the time, they wouldn't be very judgmental and be like, you don't know the sign for apple. Like, especially if they know you're learning, they might even, they even probably will give you the sign. And so it's one of my favorite things is that you can finger spell if you forget a word for like a sign for something. So that's why I try to get us to really know our ABCs, because that's such a big first step. Okay. So now, goodness, now that I've gotten off that, let's come back. And what we're going to do is we're going to do the ABCs again. This time, I'm going to say it. I'm going to try not to sign it. I'm going to give you guys kind of like test you guys. So you guys can kind of try to sign them yourselves first. And then I'll come in afterwards with the sign. Sound good? Okay. Goodness, this cough. All right, so let's start with A. A, good. Then B. And you want to make sure, if you can, have your fingers together, because when you do this, it looks like a number, not a letter. Good. Then C. D. E. Good. F. So F is going to be the pointer finger and the thumb. There you go. Yeah. Then G. H. I. Just the pinky. So yeah, there you go. J. K. L. M. Good. N. O. P. Q. Good. Q or little Q. R. S. Good. T. U. Make sure they're just straight here. Yeah. There you go. They looked a little cross for me, and I was like, oh, wait, no, we'll get that. So perfect. V. W. X. Y. And then Z. Good. You got yourselves a pat on your back. I didn't have to sign many. Usually when I have to, I kind of have to follow up or a few, but you all were like getting it. Either y'all seen them before or y'all are fast learners. But I mean, either way, you should pat yourself on the back. Okay, so now what we're gonna do is, well, I'll let you guys decide what y'all prefer to do first. There are two things we're gonna do. The first one is give everybody an opportunity to finger spell your name. And then the other one is, which and I will teach you how to say my name is and that kind of stuff as well with it. And then the other thing is kind of playing a little bit of a game with what I'll do is I will finger spell words and then you guys can type it in the chat box and try to take a guess on what it is I'm spelling. So what would y'all prefer first? Names, like signing your names, or oh my goodness, finger spelling, me finger spelling. Which would y'all prefer? The first one, the names? Does that sound good to everybody? Okay, perfect. I like that you did this, sir, because that was perfect. That's actually, okay, I know this is going to be really silly when I say that, but that is actually definitely, that's how you do it in sign language. If you're saying like, is it this choice or this choice? Which one would you prefer? You would actually be like, first one or the second one. So I just got a little giddy. I was like, oh, look at you. Okay. So first thing I'm going to show you is the sign for my, okay? So the sign for my is going to be your whole hand just across in the center, my. And then, oh my gosh, name is going to be 2 H's and you're going to tap them on top of each other. So name. And with this, I know my elbows are they might look like I'm almost like sticking them out really like this. That's not how you do it. I just kind of I'm trying to emphasize more. So sometimes I stick my arms out a little with it, but you would have it more comfortable. So if do not feel like you're having a sign like my name is, I promise your arms are not sticking out like birds. You're just comfortable right in your spot. So name. So my name. And then the cool thing in ASL is that our verbs like our linking verbs and things like that. So, well, I guess it's link. I'm not an ELA teacher, so nobody come at me. But like our is and our are and our were, those actually you don't have to actually sign because they're already embedded in the signs that you're saying. So when you're saying my name is, you do not have to say my name and then the sign for is. You would just say my name and then finger spell your name. So like, for example, mine would be my name is Gillian. I know I did that really fast and I apologize. I always try to not do it fast every time because every time I do it, people are like, oh, I'm like, I do this for a living, guys. I finger spell my name every time. So like, it's gotten this whole like repeated motion.
You know what's amazing about ASL is it's just like any other foreign language. You take your French class, you take your Spanish class, you go to France. Well, not that I have, but I hear some people do, and say bonjour, and you realize that that is not how people talk in daily life. And Gillian will sign for us. sometimes, like she signs in class. It's real fast. It runs together, just like slang. So,
Oh,
which I think
oh
is kind of cool.
yeah. Oh yeah. To jump off of that. So I took ASL 2 years in high school. I was really lucky that my school offered it as just a trial, like almost like a test period. My junior and my senior, no, my junior and my senior year of high school. And then during those 2 years, that's when I decided officially I wanted to work with kids who were deaf. And so then in college, I took a few more classes. And I mean, I practiced, I really loved it. I talk with my hands a lot, anyways, before then, which is why I thought this was perfect for me because I was like, wow, I could talk 2 different languages and stuff. Um, but it really wasn't until I arrived at my internship, which is at the school I work at now. And I saw people talk that it really kind of clicked and I got a lot more in depth. For example, I will be doing this probably next week, but I'm going to show y'all now the sign for good morning. Okay, so I'm going to show you the proper, like full, like how you would sign it. Good morning. So it's two hand motions. It's all kind of big. And I remember when I came in my internship on the first day, I was going, good morning, good. I mean, I kept doing this everywhere. Most people, the slang, like the shorthand version of it is good morning. Good morning. One motion, that's it. And I was over here going, good morning, good. I mean, making it big. And they're all like, good morning, good morning, good morning. Like it's not a big deal. So it can be kind of things like that. And I do like to try to show you guys those when we're doing other, like if I'm teaching you guys a sign, I may say, hey, this is how you would sign it in that proper like ASL, but some people will just do good morning. So while it be all big, like good, it's like my like fingers are touching my chin and come down to my hand. And then morning is like you have your arm in the armpit and you bring it up. So good morning is the like proper way. Good morning is more commonly seen. I think about it how when you're learning English, or not learning English, but when you're taking an English class and you go, oh, there's a much more proper way to say the sentence, but we all, use slang. I just like I always said, y'all, things like that. ASL has that too. And I will be showing you guys those as we go on. So let me explain this real quick. Miss Katie put down the difference between C and ASL. So what that is ASL is not the only type of sign language that there is. There's actually a few different sign languages. So there's like 3, but I'm going to really talk about 2 because the other one is more, it's a little bit more complicated. If you guys are curious, I can explain a little bit more about it, but these are the ones that are more common. So the first one obviously is ASL, American Sign Language. The second one is called C. And what it means it means signing exact English. And so what that is that's where you would do your is and your ares and your words. And for example, my example sentence I use every time is I'm going to the store. In ASL, you would do it as store me go. Or you can go me go store, but it's so you're not having to add those ings, things like that, because they're all like kind of included in that sentence, which we will, I promise I will explain this much better when you have a grasp of more signs, but I'm just kind of explaining this now. But with that signing exact English, that C, that's when you would do I am going like to the store. That's when you'd add the English parts. So store, you kind of want to have it down more. Store. You will notice that I will, like I'll add signs as I go along, and people will pick up on that. If you do that and you want it and you're just like wanting to check, I will happily be like, oh yeah, this is store, this is that, whatever. So you will pick up on signs just as I go along because I talk with my hands that much. But yes.
Also, don't be afraid. Jillian signs even when she doesn't realize it. So don't be afraid to put in the chat, hey, did you just sign whatever? Because she does it and she doesn't even realize it. So if you catch it, definitely, throw it in the chat and ask her about it.
Oh yeah, like that is something I'm like, are you saying which one, what did I do that for? More, because this looks like store. What did I do? More story? Store. So store is going to be, think about almost, I know this sounds weird, holding a shopping bag in front of your face, like you're holding the bag. Think about kind of like that. Store. I I tend to sign almost more than I talk now, which is kind of crazy. So yes, definitely. If you watch my hands, you're probably going to catch a few more signs that way. So, but yes. So let's go back to our names again. I'm sorry, totally turned off. All right, so we had my name. And then you would finger spell your name. So what I'm going to have everybody do, if you need a minute, you can, is everybody's going to take turns finger spelling their name. Okay. Now, most people I don't see having really, really long names. We've had some people in the past who've had some really, really long, like not complicated, but a lot of different signs in their names before. If you are a little nervous and you want to do like a nickname, like a shorthand name, like I've had a person whose name was Alexander and they shortened it to Alex. If you want to do that, that's totally fine too. Whatever you were comfortable with. This is a safe zone. Okay. So if you sign it wrong, I'm not going to judge you. I promise. So, let's see. Are y'all ready or do y'all need a minute to practice your name? If you're not, you can totally do a sideways thumb and that tells me, okay, you're not fully ready yet, but you're good. Okay. So my first one actually doesn't have a name. Her name is iPhone on there. So I'm trying to figure out the best way. Let's see. Yes. Yes. You. Yes. Sonia. Ah, good. Okay. So got so giddy doing that. Oh, she spelled your name right and I got it. Sorry, I get giddy when I see other people sign. I'm a total, like I said, I'm a nerd about it. Okay, guys. So you're just gonna have to, I'm like that teacher. Okay, you're just gonna have to smile and nod and get with it. Okay, so yes, that was so good. Okay, the next one I have is Miss Karen. Oh, I'm so sorry. Go ahead. Ah, yes, excellent. Okay, great. All right, my next one is Bruce. Good. Yes. Oh, you guys are rocking this. Okay. Next one is Jordan. Yeah. Good. Okay. So now my next one is the couple. Y'all have Heyman Reynolds. So I'm curious to see which one's y'all's names. So whichever one wants to go first. Deanna. Perfect. Okay. Now you, sir. That's it. Okay. So Ham. Is that your nickname? Or are you just like, I don't want to go anymore? Okay, that totally works for me, sir. I was like, okay, I think, is that a nickname? Are we getting there? All right, that works for me. Okay. Because I did also realize at this time, what you would do if you have two letters in your name, how you would do that. There are two ways you can do it. The double letters is you can either tap it twice or you can slide it. So like for my name, I have those two L's. What I do is I go G-I, and then I go L, like I slide it across, I-A-N. But you can also do G-I-L-L-I-A-N. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Good. Perfect. Mm-hmm. But yeah, see there. So yeah, that's how you would do your double digit. Y'all, like I said, math teacher, gonna probably say that. Double letters as you would either slide or tap. Either way that works for you. It's whatever you're comfortable with. It's kind of a preference. Like I said, I do more of the slide. But yeah, so that's how you do a double letter. And I will say what you'll notice as you go along with spelling your name, probably with more, like when you have more practice or you talking to other people, is what's really cool is that you'll start to notice your hands get to be a little bit, the word is called fluid. Like it has a little more fluidity to it. It's kind of smoother, which is why when you see me go Gillian, I'm not going Gillia. Like I'm just going Gillian. That sort of kind of like motion together. That happens the more you practice your name. And it's actually kind of really cool, in my opinion, because it just shows how comfortable you're with that motion. Like it's so repetitive, it just kind of comes off. So with time, if you get, you'll get to that point where you're able to fingerspell your name almost really fast, too. Now, if you're not a fast talker like I am, because I am a very fast talker, I talk 1,000 miles a minute. You may not get as fast as that, but you will be fast. So, okay, we have about 15 minutes left. What I'm going to do is I'm going to, we're going to do about 5 to, oh, sorry, Miss Katie put up big caps of white. So I'm just like, oh, I'm waiting for her to. Yes, thank you. Yes. Okay. And I'm going to do repeat as well with that. So there are 3 things I'm going to show y'all because these are the big ones that I will forget to show y'all if I don't, which is why Miss Katie needed to be like, Gillian, do not do that. Do these. So the first one is I'm learning ASL. The next one is slow down. And the other one is going to be repeat. Okay. So those are the first like signs we're going to learn. For I am learning ASL, what you're going to do is you're just going to do the sign for me, learn ASL. So you're going to first point to you. So me, and then what for learn, you're going to have your non-dominant hand palm up. Excuse me. Your dominant hand's going to kind of rest on top of it. And think about a jellyfish, okay? You're going to pull it to your forehead. And you want to bring it like actually like to your forehead, almost like touching your forehead, if not actually touching your forehead. Learn. Mm-hmm. And then for ASL, you'd go ASL. Mm-hmm. ASL. Mm-hmm. So yeah, so that's how you say the sentence. I'm learning ASL. Mm-hmm. I'm watching like a different person every time reading, like doing the sentence, and it's so great. But yes, so you can tell someone that I'm learning ASL, and they, most of the time people are very, appreciative, very nice and polite about it. But not everybody's gonna be. It's the same as any other culture. Anytime you talk to someone else, there may be someone who's not as nice or polite, but I just like to say most of the time they are very nice and understanding, and will take the time to communicate with you because they're also, oh, I appreciate that you're also taking the time to learn my language. Okay, the next one I'm going to have us do is slow down. So slow down is really you're just going to sign the word slow. Okay, so the sign for slow is going to be your non-dominant hand's going to have your arm kind of across like this, and you're going to have your dominant slide across your arm. Slow. Mm-hmm. And you want to make sure you're not doing like a brushing. It's just that one motion, like that slow. And I would even do it slow to show like, I need your like pace to not be zooming. I need it here. So slow. Typically with that as well, I'm going to add this one as well. I know I shouldn't be adding more words, but I'm doing it, is the sign please. So like, please slow down so please is going to be open hand, and you're going to do a circular motion. Please slow. Yes. Good. Okay. And then the last one, the sign for repeat, is going to be your non-dominant is going to be across like this. Dominant is going to go repeat. Repeat. This is also the sign for again, repeat, again, those kind of things. So repeat. And if you need me to slow down or you need to repeat anything, you can easily say, hey, Gillian, or that kind of motion. I will catch it. And if I don't, just keep doing it and I probably will catch it. I know, like I said, I talk fast, so I sign fast, which is a good and a bad thing in itself. But yeah. So sometimes I need someone to be like, hey, you're going way too fast for my speed. I'm back here still. So let's do those 3 sentences again, just to give you guys a little extra boost of confidence on them. So I am learning ASL. I learn ASL. Good. Okay, then please slow down. So please slow down. Now you can go, you can go full arm, but you also can just do the back of your hand. Like I was saying, it's the sling kind of shorthand version of it. I was realizing I was like, I'm just over here bending my hand while you all are like across. So either way works. And then repeat, which also I would add that please, just to be nice. So please repeat. Good. Okay. So here's what we'll do, because I feel we've done a good few sentences. We're gonna, trying to decide. Okay. Here are our 2 options, okay? For what we'll do for the next, I guess now 9 minutes, until the class finishes, because I don't want to overwhelm you guys for the first class. That's not until like class 4, okay? That's the day when you should be sitting there going, oh, she gave me a lot of science tonight. Would you guys rather try to start some numbers, or would you prefer to kind of take this minute to practice ABCs, like finger spelling, asking me any questions you guys have? What would you prefer? So I'm going to do, I guess I could quiz them. Yeah. So you guys want to do finger spelling, and then we can just hold those numbers for next week. Sound good? Okay. Perfect. All right. So we'll do that. Okay. What I'm going to do is, let me make sure I have a little list. I am notorious for not
this is always the fun part, because Gillian looks around her kitchen and all of the signs are kitchen signs.
Always are, without fail. I should make a list of actual random words, but I always forget to, and then I just look around the kitchen and I pick random.
I know, you would think after 3 years of doing this, we would have. Anyway, we're getting there, people.
Yeah. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to finger spell a word, and you guys can, in the chat box, type the word out. So I'm going to spell it the first time, wait a few seconds, then I'm going to spell it again. And I have my chat box open so I can see. And if I still haven't seen everybody answer, I'll finger spell it one more time. And then by that end, we will go ahead. I will tell you guys what it is. Okay. So you guys ready? It is going to start small words and then get bigger. Okay. So that way, I just like to prepare you. They'll start like at 3-letter words, build up, and so forth. Okay, so here's the first one. So number 1. Okay, I'm going to spell it again. Good. Yeah. So it was dog. Okay. All right. Are y'all ready for number 2? Okay. Number 2. Okay. Here it is again. I'm like staring at everybody's to make sure I don't get it. Okay. Let me do it one more time. Okay. So that one was car. Remember, our R is going to be the cross fingers, and then that T. Here's how I think of T is it looks, I know this does, it doesn't, but for some reason my brain says, oh, that makes sense. Think about like a cross T, it's like a diagonal T. Okay. That's what I think about is that it looks like slightly like a tilted like T. I don't know why my brain wants to say that and make that connection. It likes to make a lot of connections like that. If it doesn't work for you, don't worry about it. If it does, I'm glad it helped. Okay. So number 3. Okay. Y'all ready? Okay, here we go. This one might be a little tricky. Okay, I'm gonna do it again. Okay, so yes, that one was fox. I was trying to think of some challenging letter words and also not kitchen related. I love how you're probably thinking, Miss Katie said it's gonna be kitchen related. These are all like animals and things not kitchen related. Trust me, they're coming. Okay, so let's move on to a slightly bigger word, okay? All right, number 4, okay? Okay, I'm gonna spell it again. All right, one more time. Okay, so that one was oven. Told you some kitchen ones were coming. All right, let's see. I'm trying to think now. I'm kind of running. Okay, I have one. This one's a little bit bigger of a word. All right, ready? I'm gonna turn it sideways so y'all can see it as well. Okay, I'm gonna spell it again. So, yep, that was our nice little plant. It's always fun practicing ABCs and finger spelling because when I was learning it, I would say the letters out loud every time I would have someone spell them. And if you're not like fully thinking like how we sound out words, you can sit there. I've had one person who just will sit there and go P-L-A-N-T. P-L-A-N-T, planet, plant. And then it finally connects. Oh, plant. It's always kind of, I don't know. I always thought it was funny when that would happen to me. It still can happen to me every now and then when someone's finger spelling to me and I'm having to like, and it's like a big word or something. I have to really like focus. So it's just always a little funny to me. If you're having those moments, it's good. Not good, but I meant it's a good moment to think like, okay, reading the letters. Another good way to also help with that is sounding them out. That's what my teachers, college teachers told me to do. And it works. It's not the best thing for me, but I'm also not as big of an auditory person. I'm visual. So if you guys do need that though, and you're like, and to help you kind of sound it out, that can help too. That's helped some other people. So I just wanted to give you that tip. All right. Number 6, I think. We're on number 6. Okay. Ready? Okay. I'm gonna do it again. Mm-hmm. Good. Yeah, it was water. All right. How do you guys feel? Do you guys think for the last one, because I just now see it 6:30, or I'll do one more, a big word. How do you guys feel about doing a big word? Good? Up for the challenge? Okay. Um, I gotta make sure I don't pick a big word that's gonna get me. Okay. All right, I have one. All right, ready? All right. Number 7. You made that connection. Okay, I'm gonna spell it again. If you're still like, what? Think kitchen. Think of a kitchen electronic that you would use. I saw she mean, oh wait, she's doing kitchen things. That's what I saw that. You guys should know, like I watch everybody's facial expressions. That's how I can also tell if someone's like totally like, I have no idea, or they're like, oh, I got this. So, but yeah, it was microwave. I thought last time I did a class in this, I did refrigerator, but I got myself in trouble because I spelled it wrong. Because I went so like I go so slow that it was like I was sitting there, I was like, uh-oh. And I even like had a momentary like questioning, I think I spelled it wrong. And I was like, I'm sorry, guys. And I had to emphasize again, I'm not an ELA teacher, I'm a math teacher, okay? Like I'm not sitting there practicing all the time. So, but are there any last minute questions you guys have? Need me to repeat anything like right before we go? Oh my gosh, excuse me. Anything like that. Next week we will do numbers and time. I like to always add that as numbers and time. But I'm gonna see, I see people typing, so I want to make sure I get them. Oh, excuse me. Hopefully by next week I will not be having this cough and having to like stop every 5 seconds to just cough. It's the worst. Let's see. Make sure. Any questions? Any questions you guys have?
Hey, Jillian,
Yes.
tomorrow I'm gonna upload this to the YouTube channel.
Mm-hmm.
And then for everybody that's in the class, I'll send an email out with just a breakdown of what we learned in class and the list of the phrases we went over, and it will have the link to the YouTube video. I'm trying to think if there's anything. We have some other shorter videos that we send throughout the class. I think most of them come later in the class. I don't think we have one that's like introductory, but I might go ahead, since y'all knocked it out of the park tonight, I might go ahead and share one of the quizzes that we did, just to get some practice over this week. And yeah, so I think that's that.
Sounds good. Do you want to try to, I know it's like going past 6:30 and I'm sorry guys. Do you want to talk real quick about what the library resources are, Miss Katie? Or
Put it in the email.
okay,
Because
okay.
actually, it'll be easier that way. We've got some books, honestly, is what it is, and I'll just link those. And then if you want to look at them, you can. And if you're a Jefferson County, well, I should say, if you have a Jefferson County library card, any of these materials can be checked out at any Jefferson County library and returned at any Jefferson County library. So
There is one quick question. So this, what does the 7-week schedule look like? So typically it starts like tonight with ABCs. The next one is time. Third week will be family. Fourth one, some of the ones as we go more in will kind of interchange just depending on interest, things like that. One will be about animals, one will be about food.
we usually do one that's like places, place names, occupations. It would be like
Jobs,
library, librarian, bank, that kind
feelings,
of thing. Yeah,
feelings.
feelings.
We have one where we get one in touch with our emotions. It's a great one. And then usually by about the 8th week, we either have another type of subject or it's kind of a broad. I call it my little hodgepodge because there's about like a ton of them, but they're all too small of groups to kind of just put together. So usually that's about the 8th week. But with that being said, if there are any signs you're genuinely curious of, you're more than welcome to ask, even if it's not. Like if we're talking about animals and you're kind of like food, you can definitely like type in the like, hey, I'm just really curious, what's the sign for this? I'm happy to tell you, like I really am. So even if it's not related to the theme for that night, you're more than welcome to still
Also,
ask.
yes, that reminds me. At one point, we had a student in healthcare, and he had some specific signs that he was interested in. So, if you have a particular reason or a particular area that you need to communicate in, you can let us know. I mean, the worst thing that's going to happen is Jillian is going to say, "I'm sorry, I cannot help you with your physics lecture in ASL." Maybe she can, but
That actually might cook. Other subjects maybe, but that one I'm
but please reach out and let me know if you have questions or if you have a specific interest that we can cover.
and we can do our best. And like I said, if I don't know the answer to it, because I don't know every English word, so I'm not going to know every ASL sign. That's kind of my I like to say. I like I said, I have a ton of coworkers and that I can ask questions about, like questions too, and they will help me. If I forget a word for someone, I'll go, "What's the word for this?" and they'll sign it to me. So if I don't know it, I can get the answer. So. But all right, I'm gonna let you guys go now because I've held you back 7 minutes past time. I will see everybody next week. I hope you guys have a wonderful rest of y'all's week. Bye, guys.